I'm still in the whole process of rearranging and moving things around and organizing my studio. And I came across some paintings that I have to store properly. My paintings are usually lying on the floor to dry or up on the wall. And I came across two interesting paintings because I came across some interesting paintings, and I was listening to Max Igan, a person I really like. He is very clear, very focused, and he started one of his broadcasts, Max Igan, The Art of Living, and I'm going to be a little bit critical of Max, somebody who has obviously got a great deal of insight and understanding about what's going on out there, and it's really worth listening to. And he made a point of talking about how art has to be more part of our lives. And this quite often is a problem with people that don't themselves practice. And when I say art, it's not knitting, crocheting, making a nice dresser. I'm not talking about craftsmanship and decorations. And this is where Max Igan kind of crosses over into an area, and he hasn't really got a clue about this, but he's making comments. However, he does have an innate understanding of the importance of what art means in our day-to-day lives. Now, he calls everybody an artist, and I've said this too, that we all have gifts that need to be released, unleashed on the world. And he refers to these gifts as all of us being artists. Now, I don't want to sound gripey or grumpy about this, but there is a difference between exercising your creativity and ability from, like I said early on, you learn to tie your shoelace. And I've been talking about breakthroughs, and that for each child is a major breakthrough. And what does that feel like to that person, to that child, discovering something they had no clue about doing before? The discovery, and as you proceed through your levels of discovery, as we proceed through our discovery, what we bring to something, what we're helped with, what we're taught, and what we bring to that situation when somebody says, well, try it this way, and you for the first time figure out how to do it your way, this is obviously so important. Now, I'm going to play this little Igan thing. There's a couple of things I'm going to let you listen to, and I want you to listen to what he has to say, and then I will make my comment about that. Let's see.
Because I think that's what we need. I think people have to remember art in their lives. They have to remember that their art is their life and their life is their art. And I do believe it's important for people to realise this, that your life is your art. Who you are is your art. How you perceive reality, this is art. The way you express yourself, it all comes back to art, folks. Something that's really helped me to be able to achieve the things I have through life, and to be able to bring the message that I bring to you even, and make the films that I've made, is because I tend to view the world from more of an artistic perspective. And
okay, this is very important. Now, he says everything we do is art. I would say everything that we do and touch is creative, and we have our abilities, and the degree of awareness that we bring to any activity is also related to the extent of our ability to create. And I've said before, creativity is not art. And to blanketly just throw everything into everything is art, we're so wonderful. No, we're creative beings. We're curious beings. We're continuously searching out. But you cannot reduce everything in the way that he tries to do. And I don't believe he's willfully ignorant about this because he's not an artist in the sense that I'm thinking of art. And there are different people who have different abilities, and different people are better at one thing than another. And you don't say one person is more valuable than another person in terms of being a person. No, but two, this happens quite often to me. People come to the studio, and this is an example I'm going to give you. Once they have understood the mystery behind something, they believe them to have discovered something, their own creativity, and they basically say, well, I can do that. Who cares? Now, I don't think Max Igan talks this way. He is appreciative. He is understanding. He recognizes the quality in people. But not all is art. It's being aware. It's being creative. Yes, but not all is art. Now, be careful of this, because what will happen is you'll confront something that's extraordinary and it just gets thrown in with the knitting. That's not what it's about. No. Let's see what else he has to say in this first part.
Intellectual perspective. It's just a more open, right brain way of thinking about things. But I think that the importance of art cannot be overstated, and I think it is a loss of art and a loss of experiencing and appreciating and living our own self and our own culture and our own uniqueness that has caused the world to degenerate into the situation that we have today.
Yes, of course. Now, the loss of art. What I refer to is not the loss of art, but is the culture of death, the aesthetic of death that has taken over what people like, what Max Igan likes to call art. Well, it's not art. It's not art. There is aspects of creativity and certain applications to a situation, as in the dark arts, like the art of war. And Max Igan refers to this in his talk. He says sadism is an art. Torturing people is an art. You see, it starts to deteriorate. As he's kind of blanketing everything into everything as art, you incorporate all this other. No, it's not. It's not. Art, in its pure essence, elevates and raises our level of awareness and insight, and it makes the world a better place. Now, if you make a beautiful crochet or a wall hanging, and yes, it makes the world a better place. Now, also, if you have somebody who tinkers away on the piano, and then you have Mozart playing a piano piece, you see what I'm saying? This is not such a simple reductivist situation. We need to be conscious, and we can't just blanket this and say everybody is an artist. No, everybody is not an artist. Max Igan is not an artist. An artist performs a certain activity, and if they're good at it, it's going to have a lot of meaning to a lot of people. Not just to themselves, but to a lot of people. And if 5 people see it and love it, that's great. But what about if 5 million or 50 million see it? You see, there is a difference, because the influence is much greater, and the art raises the level of value in art. I suppose I can go along with him when he says everybody is basically an artist. So you're little a art, you know, one other person likes what you do, yeah. But I'm talking about a kind of universality that is discovered through making something that you are so good at. You're so good at this thing, and you create something extraordinary. And that is not to say people aren't creative. Now I'm going to pause for a minute. Now Max continues, and I'm going to play a little bit more. And my point that I'm trying to make is art is not just a creative act. Art requires vision. And vision is not something that is ubiquitous. Vision is rare. Vision means the ability to understand so acutely, and maybe not being able to express verbally, but you understand something so acutely, you're finding other ways to express that. And the object you create, or the thought or the writing or whatever it is that you create, identifies this very clearly. And it takes expertise and ability to channel this information into an object that we call a painting, music, a great video, whatever it is that you've decided to focus on this attention. So it's not enough to blah, blah, blah. And I like Max Igan. He's fabulous in his understanding, but stop this. This is a form of misinformation, because it reduces people's appreciation. Because if everybody is an artist, and I'm not saying everybody is less important than someone else. I've been saying this, that The holier than thou bunch, which run the joint, do it through the divine right of kings mythology, where they create credibility for themselves by making a history that is totally for them, not for us. And that's a whole other thing. But when we talk about art, don't blabber about everybody as an artist, because they're not. You got to have vision to be an artist. Let's hear a little bit more what he says.
You can't just look at it from a left brain perspective. You've got to open your mind, open your right brain, and look at it from an artistic perspective as well, because that's where the solution is too. Because with this artistic understanding of yourself and your own expression in life comes great power, and with it comes the ability to be able to change the picture, because we are all capable of doing this. I believe that's actually what we're here to do. I think we're here to leave the world in a better state than how we found it. I think that we're here in order to paint the collective picture of the human psyche, to paint a picture of our history, of our existence. But we all have to participate in it. And that's why I wanted to focus so much on art during the show today, and perhaps suggest to people a different way of viewing what art is.
Now, okay. You get the gist. That's all I'm going to do. I don't think there's much else to listen to regard to the art thing. All I'm trying to say is that I'm listening to this Max Igan, and I'm energized by his insight and his clarity and his simplicity and his ability to focus his ideas onto something. And it takes creativity, and he's not telling me something I don't already know, or telling you something you don't already know. And this is where I say vision comes in, and the extraordinary part in people. It's very important of this person to simplify our life with his insight. But the vision that we're going to need and rely on is to take us to the next level. And this, like he says, oh yeah, there's another part in this. He says the butterfly effect, that one voice, and I've said this before, that all changes in society happen because one or two or three people began to buck the trend. And their voices grew and grew and grew because it made sense to people. It's like Picasso had the Demoiselles d'Avignon turned to the wall for 20 years after he painted it in 1907. It didn't come out until I think it was 1927 or 1928 or in the late 20s, when Kahnweiler, his dealer, a magnificent dealer, Daniel Henry Kahnweiler, read his biography. It's just tremendous. True advocate for the arts. So anyway, the Cubism altered our ability to see another dimension, or into another dimension, meaning and it's not a physical dimension, although he used these kind of angular perspectives to look at a face from both sides, that you see the back and the front. That's truly fractal. That's kind of like looking around corners, and Picasso was way ahead of everybody, along with Braque. Braque and Picasso did this, but this did not catch on for, well, a lot of people still don't catch on to this stuff. But it finally took over. This vision became part of the mainstream awareness that, yeah, everybody has Picasso, Warhol, Dali. These are the artists on people's lips. And it's not like a million other or 10 million or 6 billion artists on our lips. No, this is what I'm talking about. You're thinking about a very concise, small group of people, maybe 5,000, 6,000 on the planet at any given time. This is what I'm defending, reminding. Not to say someone is better than someone else. Every life is absolutely 100% crucial, valuable to the continuation of everything, because we feed into each other so incredibly. But we got to keep our eye on the ball on this one, because you're just gonna miss the boat. If you put everybody into the same boat, you're gonna have like a boring trip. It doesn't work that way. So in conclusion, in front of my revitalized paintings as I pull them out. This is 6,000 years of history on this side, and we've got some sort of, I call them palindromes, and the two soldiers and the type of painting it is a Rorschach painting. It becomes a palindrome, Rorschach palindrome. The statement that I was making is that what is art? What is art? And to have someone that is not an artist, someone that doesn't practice the highest elements of art, and I'm not talking decoration, because decoration is not art. Decoration can make your life more beautiful. Some terrific wallpaper. I got like wallpaper. I painted on wallpaper here. You can see there in the back I have my my moon dog, and the painting is done on wallpaper, and it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek thing, but I enjoyed painting on wallpaper. So yeah, that is my point. The non-artist commenting on everything, everybody is an artist, makes no sense to me. So don't listen to that. But listen to everything else that they have to say if it makes sense. And Max Igan makes a lot of sense. But don't listen to him on the art thing, because you're going to just, it's like wishful thinking, making yourself feel good stuff, because you know it's not true. You're not fucking artists. You gotta do it. What you are is you're creative, and you're absolutely important and vital to the whole functioning of everything. And the more of us wake up in this creativity and possibly come out with vision, have a vision, this is even more extraordinary. There are people that practice creativity plus have vision. Now that's when you get into the art part. So I hope that makes sense. And don't get too upset just because I said you're not an artist. I've been saying this. You gotta do it to be an artist. And doing it once every 2 months is not making art. It's doing it every day, 24/7. When you're sleeping, you're making it too. That's art. Not what Max Igan says. Max Igan says you're a beautiful individual human being necessary to our evolution. We all need to come along on the same trip here to overcome what we're facing. But art is special.